All right, good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's First Thursday presentation focusing on healthy holidays. My name is Ryan Smith. I'm the Wellness Program Administrator with the Employee Development and Wellness Services team. I am joined today by Cheryl Johnson-Ransaw, our Director, and Tony Pelote, our Health and Wellness Coordinator. So if you're new to our First Thursday's presentations, on the first Thursday of every month, we pick a different health topic to briefly talk about and offer some health tips that you can carry with you throughout your work week. So today we are going to be focusing on healthy holidays since we just had Thanksgiving and we've got the winter holidays and winter break fast approaching. We are going to be recording today's session so that you can share it with a colleague who may have missed it. All of our EDWS events are recorded and uploaded to YouTube so that you can check out any of our previous offerings from our stretch breaks to our live cooking demonstrations and more. During today's presentations, if you happen to have any questions or comments, you can make use of the chat box feature on the right side of your WebEx interface. Additionally, if you're experiencing any technical difficulties, please use the chat feature. Make sure to send the message to all panelists, and we will have someone assist you. So let's go ahead and get started. We're just going to cover a couple key tips today to help you make it through the holidays. So our objectives are learning tips for staying healthy during the holiday season, and then we're going to review some of the key resources you have available to you on campus and off campus to support your well-being. So tip number one is a nutrition tip. Since I am a registered dietitian, I am, of course, always thinking about nutrition and how we can factor that in. And that tip is to not skip meals over the holiday season. It can be difficult sometimes. We might be very, very busy. We might be in a bit of a rush, or maybe we're planning on saving room for a bigger meal that's happening later in the day. However, when we skip meals, a couple things tend to happen. One, when we get to the meal that we plan to eat, we tend to be very, very hungry. I'm sure if any of you have, woken up early on a holiday morning and you've worked really hard on food and you've been so busy you haven't had time to eat, when it comes time to sit down, you are ravenous. And self-control and moderation can become a lot more difficult than when you're that hungry. It's like shopping for groceries if you're very, very hungry. Just the decision-making process becomes a lot more challenging. So one of the best things you can do, regardless of what you're planning on doing later in the day, is when you wake up in the morning during the holidays, try to have a balanced breakfast. And we'll talk a little bit more about what a balanced meal consists of later in today's presentation, but we're looking for just a good combination of ingredients. You can have some fresh fruit, whole grains like oatmeal, for example, is a great example. You can do things like yogurt, really anything to just help you get your day started and give you some healthy, sustained energy. Now, this extends beyond breakfast as well, though. I know a lot of us get busy during the season, but skipping meals can make it difficult for us to regulate our appetite and listen to our body's natural hunger cues. So that's tip number one. Tip number two is a little bit more about balancing the meals themselves. So there is a little cheat sheet I'm going to share with you all about what I like to do whenever I'm thinking of how to balance a healthy meal. And what we're going to do is we're going to imagine the plate divided into a couple key food groups. So about a quarter or 25% of your plate should be made up of protein foods. So protein foods can be things like meats, such as chicken, turkey. It can be seafood or fish. It can be things like eggs, or if you're eating plant-based foods, it may be things like nuts, beans, tofu, those sorts of options. So we want about a quarter of our plate to come from some good quality proteins. That's going to be great for helping you feel satisfied and also supporting your muscles and other parts of your body. Another quarter or another 25% of the plate is dedicated to starches and grains, or a lot of people will refer to these foods as carb foods. So think of things like mac and cheese, bread, rice, pasta. It can be easy to overdo some of those foods sometimes, especially around the holidays. Those are some fan favorites. But trying to limit them to a quarter of your plate will make sure that you still get the nutrition they provide and enjoy the delicious benefits while limiting them and balancing the other food groups. And I think for a lot of people, the biggest section that they can work on is incorporating more vegetables. So the gold standard is actually to aim for making half of our plate non-starchy vegetables. And the word non-starchy vegetables just means vegetables excluding some of the more carbohydrate-rich ones like potatoes and corn. So some vegetables that might go in this category include things like broccoli, cauliflower, carrots, tomatoes, spinach, collard greens. It's a great place to fill up on vitamins and minerals and get a lot of fiber while also keeping your calories a little bit lower. So if you're trying to maintain a healthy weight over the holiday season, filling up on vegetables is a great way to do that. So this is just kind of an example of some foods we might see around the holiday season here, and we can see them broken down into the different portions of the plate. So we've got, since it's the holidays, I'm imagining there might be some fried meats that come up, while baked and grilled are going to be the leaner, lower fat, and healthier options. It is the holiday season, and I know for a lot of people, it's tradition to have fried foods like this. If you keep it into that quarter of the plate, you're still doing a good job of balancing the food groups and you can enjoy all that flavor. So we can see the drumstick in that quarter of the plate. We've got mashed potatoes that are in the other quarter of the plate where we put our starch or our carbohydrate foods. And then half of the plate is filled up by some green beans in this case. Again, just an example of what that plate might look like. So by doing this, we're making sure that our body has access to some key nutrients in a good balance to fuel our body. Now, of course, our carbohydrate food or the starches, we may want to swap that out with something else. Like maybe you want to do mac and cheese because there's so many different good sides that pop up at our holiday table. Or you might be thinking right now, well, hold on, I would like to try many of the different foods that are there. And that's totally okay. Keep in mind that you don't always have to do a full serving or a full helping of one of those foods. You can definitely use that quarter of the plate to try a little bit of each. Maybe you do a half serving of mac and cheese and a half serving of potatoes. You can still enjoy your favorite foods over the holiday season, but by dialing back the portions a little bit, you can make sure that you're keeping things in balance and still supporting your overall health. So tip number 3 is to sip smart. So when it comes to our beverages over the holidays, a lot of sneaky calories can pop up just through our drinks alone. So this is an example I like to use because when I'm thinking about the holidays, I am usually trying to figure out, okay, how can I enjoy my favorite foods while still keeping things balanced? So here's an example. I know Thanksgiving just passed, but a lot of us may have leftovers, and I know that pie is a popular food throughout all of the holidays as we go through the fall and the winter. So just something to think about. If you're someone that drinks beverages or drinks with calories in them or a lot of sugar, it can really add up throughout the day. So 2 cans of Coke, if you're sipping on that throughout the holiday, that's 78 grams of sugar and 280 calories. Whereas a slice of pumpkin pie is about the same amount of calories and 25 grams of sugar. So one thing to think about is if you are really trying to save room for your favorite treat, your favorite dessert, if you drink water or other zero-calorie beverages throughout the day, like unsweet tea, you can leave more room in your day to enjoy those favorite foods without going overboard. Generally speaking, if you're trying to cut back on calories and you do drink sugary beverages, they're one of the best things you can do to limit or cut out just because it makes such a big difference as each can or each bottle begins to add up. And when we look at this, I see a comment that popped up here. Pumpkin pie is healthier than soda. Good to know. So the reason we're comparing these is really just to point out the calories and how those start to add up. So something like soda is going to be all sugar. That's really all that's in soda. Whereas pie does have sugar in it. It also has fat. It also has a little bit of protein. It's a little bit more complex than something like candy or a soda would be. Now, the real message here is everything in moderation. If you've got a favorite food or a favorite drink, having a small amount of it is always going to be the key so that you can enjoy a little bit of it. But then we want to keep our focus on the big picture and ask ourselves questions like, am I also eating vegetables? Am I getting a lean source of protein? Things like that. So the holidays are not about being overly restrictive, but there are some small changes we can make that can help us out. So tip number 4 is to stay active. For a lot of us, the holiday season comes with various traditions. Some of these traditions may be more sedentary, such as watching a football game, watching a parade, maybe going to the movies, playing board games, or just sitting around the table and talking. But remember that we can always define new traditions as the years go on. And one of the things we can do is try to be more active. After a holiday meal or before a holiday meal, depending on what works better for your schedule and your loved ones, trying to be active can make such a big difference. One of the reasons that people frequently come back from the holidays, potentially having gained some weight, is not just from the food. A lot of times we're busy over the holidays, and we may be, because it's colder, we might be more likely to be bundled up indoors, and we're generally moving less. But try to involve your friends, your family, your housemates, whoever you might spend the holidays with, or if you just want to take a walk outside by yourself to get some fresh air, maybe get some space away from all the hustle and bustle that might be happening, being active can really, really help. It can also promote better digestion whenever we are eating some of these big meals. If you ever feel like you just kind of have a rock that's sitting in you after you eat all that food, getting a little bit of movement in is really good for healthy blood sugar control and just promoting a better overall picture of health. So we really want to encourage physical activity, and it can be anything that you enjoy. It does not have to be, a traditional workout, running on the treadmill or anything like that. It can be a walk. It can be, throwing a little football around if you've got children or cousins or relatives or people that you might enjoy doing that with. Get creative. The key is just for you to be involved in some form of movement. I know some people in my family will do like dance breaks where they'll put on a song and people will get up and just kind of move around to that for a little bit. And that completely counts as exercise. That is getting your heart rate up. So look for creative ways that are fun that can incorporate the people you're spending your holiday with. Tip number 5 is to prioritize self-care. So what we mean by this is taking care of yourself and your overall health and well-being. We've talked about nutrition, we've talked about physical activity, but there is certainly an emotional and mental health aspect to making it through the holidays in a healthy fashion. We can get very stressed or overwhelmed as we wrap up the semester trying to finish our work projects. We may have family members or friends coming in, and we need to make sure that the areas are prepared for them, or perhaps we're traveling and that's something that we're stressing about. Maybe we're in a different location, we're a little out of our element. Taking the time each day to try to practice some good self-care, and that can come in the form of, again, potentially getting some space and taking a walk, trying some quiet meditation or some mindfulness exercises. Just really making sure that you fit in time to take care of yourself and check in with yourself. The holidays can be about giving to other people, but we want to make sure that we've got our oxygen mask on first, right, before we assist other people. So we want you to feel refreshed over the holiday so that when you come back in the new year, you're feeling good. And tip number 6, which is honestly probably the most important tip, is to get back on track. And the reason this tip is here is the holidays are meant to be fun. When we go into them, chances are that we're going to be experiencing a slightly different routine and schedule, and whatever our goals may be, whether we're working towards a new goal or just trying to maintain what we've already achieved, sometimes we may fall off the horse a little bit, and that's totally okay. That happens to everyone. The best thing we can do is to try to get back on track when we can. For example, if you have a day where maybe you're eating foods that are a little less healthy than usual and you're not able to be active, that doesn't mean that you failed. It just means that that day went that way. Try to look at the next day as an opportunity to just do a little bit better and improve a little bit. There's always chances for you to continue working on your health and continue working on your well-being. So never let a single failure stop you. Just remember that you can always work to get back on track and make those improvements. Now, I want to highlight a couple key Georgia State University resources that we have available to us through our well-being program as well as through our external USG well-being program. So these are resources that are designed to assist you not just during the holiday season, but year-round as you navigate whatever challenges you may be facing. So our office is Employee Development and Wellness Services. You can contact us by phone at the phone number listed on the screen, or you can email us at edws@gsu.edu. We also have our website posted here, and I'll be sure to share the slides with everyone after today's presentation so you have access to these links. We do offer health coaching. Health coaching is a one-on-one appointment to help you achieve your health goals. These are offered at no cost for GSU staff and faculty. I mentioned I'm a registered dietitian, so I'm able to do one-on-one nutrition coaching calls to help you with your goals. We also have Tony Pilote. She is an exercise physiologist who can help you with physical activity-based goals. And then our director, Cheryl Johnson Ransaw, is a licensed counselor, so she can help you with stress management and other issues you may be facing. If you're interested in health coaching, you can email us at that email, edws@gsu.edu, and we can get you scheduled. We also offer faculty and staff assistance, which is an employee assistance program. So this is designed to really support you with any issue you might be encountering. It can be related to a conflict at work. It can be related to maybe some social stress or things you're feeling at home outside of the workplace. If you're dealing with financial issues or really any sort of problem you might be facing, this is a great resource to reach out to try to get you assistance and help you navigate the challenge. You can email fasa@gsu.edu for more information. There are confidential telephone and video counseling appointments you can schedule. There's a regular phone number listed on the screen, as well as an emergency assistance for crisis situations phone number. That number is available 24/7, 365 days out of the year. If you're experiencing a crisis, you can call that number and get immediate assistance. Finally, we do have a therapy assistance online platform. This is something where you can navigate the platform and get immediate and convenient online access to a variety of meditation exercises, mindfulness exercises, as well as look into the therapy online portion. I also want to highlight through the University System of Georgia, we do have access to KeyPro, which is our external employee assistance program. So this is somewhat similar to FAFSA, but rather than being contained within Georgia State, this is a third party. So some people prefer to reach out for assistance to someone not directly associated with the university. This is available for professional, private, and confidential services. It is offered at no cost to GSU faculty, staff, as well as their eligible family and dependents. They offer telephone and video counseling, and you can call the number on the screen in order to set up an appointment. You can also visit the website usg.mylifeexpert.com and use our company code USGCares to get access to these resources. So again, this is an assistance program that's designed to help you with whatever sort of issue you might be navigating, regardless of the topic, regardless of if it's related to work or not. This is something that is here to help you with it. So we highly encourage people to reach out if they're facing any hardships. And then we talked about a variety of different things today, from mental well-being to physical activity to nutrition. And we wanted to highlight some of the offerings we have happening in December that can support you as you move into the holidays. Tomorrow, Friday, December 2nd, Tony's going to be leading us on a Fast Fun Fitness Friday session. That is a virtual workout. It's about 20 minutes long, so it's a great way to take a break, stretch your legs a little bit, stretch your arms out if you're getting kind of cramped working at your desk. Just get a little bit of physical activity in and get your heart pumping. So that's a 20-minute workout that'll be tomorrow starting at noon, and the registration link is here. Again, I'll send out a copy of the PowerPoint, but all of these events are on the GSU web calendar, as well as being available on our website. Tuesday, December 6th, we have a mini stretch break, also led by Tony. So that's a 20-minute opportunity at 10 a.m. to stretch things out, just kind of get the blood moving through your body again, loosen up. We're really trying to find ways to get some physical activity in throughout our day. Also on Tuesday, December 6th, we'll be doing our book club offering. This month's selection is a book called The Morning Mind, which is focused on just making healthy habits and lifestyle changes to promote a better, more productive, and just more enjoyable life experience. So that's going to be a great topic. I'm really interested to learn more about that. That'll be from 12 to 1 on that Tuesday. Next Thursday, December 8th, I'll be offering a live cooking demonstration from 12 p.m. to 12:30, where I will walk you through how to make a healthy recipe, and then of course provide you with a copy of the recipe and the nutrition information so you can see about applying it on your own, making that in your kitchen, and just adding some new foods into your diet. And then on Friday, December 9th, we'll have a guided meditation and chair yoga combined session from 12 p.m. to 1:30 p.m. So that's an opportunity to meditate a little bit, work on your mindfulness and your mental well-being, as well as get in some physical activity through the chair yoga portion. So we just want to take the opportunity to say happy holidays to everyone. We really want to thank you for this past year. We've had some really excellent attendance at all of our various events and offerings. We appreciate all of our regular attendees. And if you are a newer attendee, maybe you're learning about our programs for the first time, we just want to say welcome. We're very excited to have you on this call, and we hope that you check out some of our other offerings throughout the month. Again, happy holidays to everyone, and we hope you have a great rest of your week.